from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, soda machines, traditional soda machines, freestyle soda machines, and even, homemade. Yeah, even people that even if you the tools you use to make your soda at home, whether you got carbonate, whether I don't know. You might be confused. That one petered out quick. I said, "What? You know what would be good for a sleep with me analogy, especially for this episode, Nuns in Space? Some sort of soda machine." And nope, petered out quick. Those bubbles, flat as my soda on a summer afternoon after sitting outside for 4 hours. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to, if you're new, I'm so glad you're here. Give the show a few tries, see how it goes. I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you can fall asleep. And the reason I make the show, and the reason a lot of the people that are regular listeners listen along is because, it gets lonely for us in the deep, dark night. And the fact is, you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you can rest. So I'm here to keep you company, but you don't need to listen to me. And you'll probably already figure, you say, if this is what I'm dealing with. So I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff because you deserve a good night's sleep. And the way the show works is we're going to start off with some support. That's how we come out free twice a week. And then there'll be an intro that'll go on and on and on and not make any sense. And then there'll be our bedtime story. It's episodically modular, so you can listen to it in any order. It's about a freestyle soda machine in space and so much more. And I think that's it. Out of metaphors. Well, I started with no metaphors and I finished with none. Because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. This is one of the messages where I ask you to think about becoming a patron or supporting the show by spreading the word or supporting a sponsor. The best way to support the show, though, is directly on Patreon, and only if you're in a position to do so. But if you are in a position to do so, to support the show $5, $10, $20 a month, or maybe cut back on one of the other streaming services you might not use as much as Sleep With Me, just think about for a second, what would I do if I didn't have Sleep With Me to listen to? Like if you say, oh, I just listen to something else. Yeah, you don't need to support the show, but if you say, well, I'd really miss it. Now, I'm doing my best to make sure Sleep With Me stays free and coming out twice a week, so you don't got to worry about that. But I do that with help of people that are in a position to support the show, to be a rebel with the cause. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. So if you could afford to support the show either annually or monthly at $5, $10, or $20 a month, just say to yourself, well, what would I do without Sleep With Me? And if it's an easy answer, probably you don't need to support the show or support it because of the bonus content or ad-free episodes or something else. But if the answer is, good, oh boy, I don't know, and you can afford it, please support the show, particularly right now. I mean, it's a time, it's not an easy time for anybody. So just ask yourself that question if you're listening. Well, what did you do? What did you do before Sleep With Me? And what did you spend money on before Sleep With Me to help you fall asleep? And then be a rebel with cause, support a free podcast, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patrons, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patrons. Thanks, everybody. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp, everybody. And, I'm always wishing life came with a user manual, whether it's as simple as deciding what's for dinner or having a serious talk with someone in my personal life, or when I can't sleep and I've got the thoughts and the feelings, I say, oh, man, what should I do about this? Because unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. When it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. And that's why BetterHelp Online Therapy is the next best thing. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. And like I said, I go to therapy every single week. I get coping skills, and I can learn how to be my best when things are not going well, to be there for the other people in my life and to help them when they're not at their best. And that's why in my personal life, I'm always happy to recommend talk therapy and BetterHelp to people. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix Sleep. Now, you might hear me talk about how much I love my Helix, but let me tell you, when the seasons are changing, holy mackerel. You know, I took that Helix quiz, and I got matched with a mattress because I sleep hot. And that's one of the things I love about the Helix Dusk that I have. I've got the Dusk Luxe. Like, even if I'm piling on those covers, I don't have to worry about getting too hot or too stuffy. So it makes that cozy season so much better. When I'm getting in bed, I'm snuggling down, I could sink in, I can get comfortable, and I can get a great night's sleep. Now, I don't know how old the mattress you're sleeping on is, but it's time to take the Helix quiz. It's at helixsleep.com/sleep. And Helix is a premium mattress brand that provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. The Helix lineup has 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, and even a mattress made just for kids. And the way you find the mattress that works best for you and your body is you take that Helix quiz. You get matched with the perfect mattress for you in under 2 minutes, and your personalized mattress comes shipped straight to your door, free of charge. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home, and that's why they offer a 100-night risk-free trial. That way you can try out your new Helix mattress, see how your body adjusts, and if you decide it's not the best fit, you're welcome to return it for a full refund. It's a perfect combination of comfort and support. That's why I love my Helix Dusk Luxe. And having the springs with the foam does make a huge difference for me in feeling supported but feeling comfortable. Not only is the mattress the best I've slept on, but the setup was fast and easy. Plus, Helix mattresses are American-made and come with a 10 or 15-year warranty depending on the model. And remember, you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. If you don't love it, I know you will, but if you don't, they will pick it up for you and give you a full refund. And Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep. With Helix, better sleep starts now. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone. That's the one part of the podcast I need you to hear. It's where I thank the listeners who supported the sponsors. That's how the show comes out for free twice a week, is the people that support the sponsors. Let the sponsor know they heard about him on the show. And I want to thank Lars, who supported Brooklyn, and let Brooklyn know about it. Let me know about it. Filled out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. Thank you so much, Lars, for being there to support the show. If you support a sponsor, let them know about it. Let me know about it so I can thank you, because I'm thankful, because I couldn't do it without people like Lars. Thanks, Lars. That's the first part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. The second part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need right now. If you're having a tough time, there's links to resources in the show notes you could connect with, including international resources that you could connect with right now if you're having a tough time. It's about being a part of positive change, being a part of the communities around the show, not just saying support Ukraine, not just saying Black Lives Matter, not just saying stop AAP, I hate, but learning more and taking action. There's links to resources where you could do both those things right in our show notes. And one of the community activities we're part of is building hygiene kits for people experiencing homelessness. We do it at our live shows before they start, and I do it online. And you can join me for free. Ask me questions, hang out, be a part of sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission, sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. And that's the end of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. Oh, Mr. Bart, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Posty poster song sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Curled up W the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the mystery bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Don't forget to get your sleep phones. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep phones. It's the only place to get Sleep With Me branded sleep phones. Use Sleep With Me for a discount on one word on your order, and that's it. What do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. And what I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, things on your mind that you're thinking about the past, the present, the future. So thoughts you're thinking about, thinking stuff, thoughts, feelings, anything you're feeling physically. So anything that's coming up for you physically or emotionally, you're feeling in your feelings, about the past, present, future, about the thoughts, about the physical feelings, or about the emotions. It could be changes in time or temperature, routine, travel, guests, stuff, you could have something coming up, or you could be going through something. Whatever it is that's keeping you up, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so that you could fall asleep. I'm here to be here, to be your friend in the deep, dark night. And, that's what I'm here for. What else? I'm so confused. It's been like a week since I recorded an intro. So I'm a little flat, to use that sewing metaphor again. So whatever's keeping you awake, I'm here to take your mind off stuff and keep you company so you can fall asleep. But yeah, the reason I make the show, I talked about it at the beginning, but I want to talk about it again. You deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you could get some rest and get the sleep you need because your life's going to be better. It's going to be more manageable. Now, I don't know if this show can provide it. Sleep With Me is a show. It kind of takes a few tries to get used to. It's different. Even though this was like the first sleep podcast, it's different than most other stuff in a sense of I'm just here to keep you company, not really to put you to sleep or to be listened to. I'm your friend in the deep, dark night. But if you get that sleep you need, your life is going to be better. Our world will be a better place. The other reason I make the show and a lot of people listen is because we know how it feels in the deep, dark night. All that stuff I listed earlier or more. Now, not everybody might know or been through exactly what you're dealing with, whatever's keeping you up, but a lot of us can relate to how it feels. And that's important too, because, we might go too far to say we understand how it feels and what it's like. And, that kind of connects us. And I know a lot of regular listeners are kind of nodding. As they're nodding off, they're nodding. And saying, I think Scoots was talking about, I don't know what he's talking about, but I can relate, So that's why we make the show. So what I'll do is I'll send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. So that means my voice is not traditionally soothing. Creaky, dulcet tones are more here to keep you company. It's just a, friendly voice in the deep, dark night. And, I'll try to keep the pace and the tone down. But really, I'm just here to tell you some stories and go off, or try to tell you a story, then go off topic, then get mixed up. So I'm here to be your friend in the deep dark night. I'll send my voice. Oh, pointless meanders and superfluous tangents mean I tend to get stuck in repetitive thoughts. Then I'll think of something else. Then I'll go back to it. Then I won't remember what I'm going back to. Then I'll go on a tangent about something. Then I'll say, I'm sure I've said this before, but tangerine tangents. Have I gone on a tangerine tangent before? I don't know if I have. I'd have to look at, here's the thing. How are tangerines feeling about the rise of mandarins in the past, or mandarins and, I'm not joking. None of this is a joke. I don't know if mandarins and tangerines are the same thing. I would say they're at least all in the citrus family. I would say the orange family, but that's probably, they'd say, no, there's an orange, there's a tangerine, and there's a mandarin. Then there's mandarin orange. What about a plum? The stone fruits are always get. How come you can't throw a tangerine in there with a plum and a you got your plots, your apple plums, apparinge, nanger apple, nanger. No, that doesn't make sense because you say it's an apple. Nangerine. What's that? I don't know. It's when my nana eats a tangerine. I call it the nangerine. That's what I call it when I've come in the room after she's had a is it no, it's a tangerine. After she's had a tangerine and it smells, I say, oh, she's got a little tangerine juice on her. So there's my nangerine. And I'm the only one that laughs because then I say, what's it called? A nangerine? This is a tangerine tangent for sure. So I don't think this is the first time because that has such great alliteration that I would hope in 1,100 episodes I said, oh, tangerine and tangent. And there's probably some out there that's like, this is the most terrible tangerine tangent. The case of the terrible tangerine tangent, episode whatever, 12, 11, 20, 40 or whatever. So that's how I go off topic and get mixed up. It just happens naturally. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I don't know. Maybe I would mind. I mean, let's see. What would go best? A plum, a nectarine, and a tangerine. They have a nectarine. That's a nectarine my nana's eating. Nectarine. Tangerine. Tangerine. That's like a chimney, chim charade. Nanja tangerine. Oh boy. This is where I get stuck in this stuff because I can't stop nanja tangerine. If I ever have magic, I wouldn't be able to cast it because is it tangerine or nanja tangerine? Hocus Pocus 7. Miscast. Miscast. A Hocus Pocus fan musical. Is it tangerine? Nanja tangerine. Quick, cast the citrus spell. Okay, so where was I? Go off on tangents. A couple of things you need to know about the show. You probably already figured out. One is this is a podcast you don't really listen to. Really? You're kidding me, right? It's not chock full of facts and figures and interesting stuff. You say, no, it's mildly interesting. Maybe you were even saying, you're right. Is there, I'm not going to Google it, but is there a reason? And then, of course, people that know stuff about plants are like, of course there's a reason. That's a woody tuber. And that's a non-woody tuber that can never be amalgamated. And I'd say, well, I'm talking about fruit. What's the person? I'm a fruit alchemist. I'm not working. I'm working outside the bounds and limitations of Earth. I might put each one of those in a, particle collider and then my cauldron of magic powers. Maybe even one of those things, what do the alchemists use, whatever those are called. Maybe in Skyrim. You see, you can't put that there. I say, well, I just did. So Oh, boy. So those are, what was I saying? Oh, a couple of things to know. Oh, this is a podcast you don't really listen to. I'm here to, you can just kind of barely listen. Like I said, you say, plots, apperplums. Those are things that exist for sure. So that's that. This is also a podcast that doesn't put you to sleep. I talked about that earlier. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, to take your mind off stuff, to be your bore friend, your bore bud, your bore bae, your bore sib, your bore bestie, your bore burr, your neighbor, your bore bruh. I'm here to keep you company and be your friend in the deep, dark night. So those are two things. And a lot of people, it takes the time to get used to the show because they get here with expectations. Understandably, you did not expect me to go on a tangerine tangent. And even if you did, you'd say, if I had I'd expect it to be bright and citrus colored and make some sort of sense and not devolve into alchemy. Because I don't even think you're using, you're not even using, and I say, you're right. You're right. I was thinking of the person that can turn gold into, like water into gold or whatever, which is an apt metaphor for this episode. No water will be turned into gold. But, what was the thing? So, you don't really listen to me and, take your mind off stuff. There's something else I was trying to, give it a few tries and see how it goes. That's what, if not hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have told me, probably over 1 million people have said, first I didn't like the show or I didn't make any sense, or I kept waiting for it to get started. And then I listened a few more times, or I came back after a year or two and I said, oh, okay, now I get it. So give it a few tries, see how it goes. If you're already giving it a few tries and you're frustrated, or you're listening and you're frustrated in a strong way where you're like, I don't think I'm going to get that I don't need to get this. Sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you has other stuff you could check out, Sleep Podcasts and Sleepy Audio. So give it a few tries. Give it a few tries. It doesn't put you to sleep. Care to keep, structure the show. That's another thing that throws people off. And our structure of podcast is deliberate because of some of the goals for the show. One of the goals is for you to feel seen and welcomed in. So we start off with a greeting, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and they say something goofy. So you say, okay, I could probably check this podcast out. Then another goal is the podcast is free. We're paying for it as optional. Because not everybody's in a position to be able to support the show. And most people like the show coming out twice a week on the regular. And so to do that, that's our sponsors and our listener support. So that comes next. Then there's support for listeners that are having a tough time right now. So you have a resource. And then there's support for communities around the show. So that's the support part of the podcast. Then there's the intro, which we're like 20 minutes into. And a lot of people, we're only it's like 12 minutes in. So the thing about the intro, like a lot of people, they either get, they're like the support for the show or the intro, it doesn't meet their expectations. Understandably, the intro is here for a very specific reason. Now you can skip it. 2 or 3% of people do. And then there's people that listen, like subscribers that listen to story-only episodes, but just as many people listen to all intro episodes. So kind of see how it goes. But the intro serves as a buffer between your day and being asleep. It's meant to ease you into bedtime and to be a slow lowering of the volume instead of like me counting down from 10 and then expecting you to be to sleep. That doesn't work for me. Having a bedtime routine, having a wind down is what's worked for me. And it is something that has been shown to work, is to ease you into bedtime. Now, are people falling asleep right now, and we're happy for them. But for most listeners, the intro is just one part of the show, and it's kind of the twilight part of the show. So that's the intro. Then again, there's more support between the intro and the story, so the show could be free twice a week. And then there'll be our story. I don't know where those, it's like it fell into some sort of fantastical dialogue there. Sorry. My story. It's a story. And so there'll be a story, and that'll be like 45, 50 minutes long. And then the show ends with some thank yous and good nights. So that's the structure of the show. That's why I make the show. I'm really glad you're here. And I really hope the podcast, like I yearn and I strive, so I really hope it can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And, yeah, that's it. I'm really glad you're here. And this is how we're able to be here for you free twice a week. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about ZocDoc. And you know what ZocDoc is all about? It's finding quality doctors and helping you identify the right doctor for you. Because if you're a fan of it, you know, you love sushi, but you're not going to buy sushi at a gas station. It's finding the right sushi that makes all the difference. And the same goes for finding the right doctor. With ZocDoc, booking an appointment with a doctor that suits your needs, fits your schedule, is in your network, and in your neighborhood is easy. And when I was looking for an eye doctor, I used ZocDoc. My favorite part was looking at the patient reviews and saying, okay, when's this doctor available? I like and relate to these reviews. It makes me feel comfortable. I could see where their office is located. All the bases were covered. And I use ZocDoc, and you should too. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten your teeth, fix an achy back, get a mole checked out, or anything else, ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting it delivered to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with a few taps. You could find and review local doctors, read verified patient reviews from real people who made real appointments. And now, when you walk into that doctor's office, you're all set to see someone in your network who gets you. Go to ZocDoc.com and find the doctor that is right for you. Book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. And every month, millions of people use ZocDoc, and I'm one of them. It's my go-to whenever I need to find and book a quality doctor. Go to ZocDoc.com/sleep and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, Scoots here, and it's time for our episodically modular series, Nuns in Space, and I'll explain what the show is, what you need to know. Really nothing is the great thing. The episodically modular means you can listen to these episodes in any order, because it's just a basic setup, and so, and you say, well, I don't know about that. I'm a completist. They say, okay, well, this is then like Star Wars or whatever, where they started with this is episode 9, I believe. But the show's so episodically modular that it might not be 9. I might move stuff around. But you say, okay, then episode 9, 10, 11, and 12 are the main series, and then 1 through 8 are a prequel, a series of prequels that are also episodically modular. Yeah, so that means you can listen in any order, no pressure. Nuns in Space is a tale of a freestyle soda machine who is our heroic figure, Stan. And Stan is caught in a loop, some sort of loop. I don't think it's like a metaverse loop, because Stan seems to be staying in the same universe, which is our universe, the great vast universe galaxy existence we're in, though a little bit in our future. I can't explain. Only the power of fiction could enable me to tell something that hasn't happened yet. So Stan is a heroic figure. Stan's caught in a loop where every time, this is a episodically modular part, in every episode, Stan comes to awareness somewhere in the galaxy or the universe where Stan is trying to help. And Stan's trying to help, but Stan's used to having a sidekick named Scooter to help kind of Stan solve things. And Stan's usually helping with some sort of situation that involves concentrated delusion, but Stan doesn't know that either at the time. Stan just knows there's an issue. Again, like you say, okay, there's a case of spilled milk. So Stan would say, how are we going to clean this milk up? Or no reason to, let me soothe you. It seems like you spilled some milk and you're crying. And then, but there's a level of delusion there, which I guess in that case you'd say the milk was never spilled. I don't know I don't know how delusion would fit into that example. So not a great, I guess you'd say I poured the milk out. Also, this is an art exhibit, and you've crossed over the velvet rope. That would be more of a confusion. If you're confused, so am I. But so you get the idea. It's more of a cosmic issue normally that Stan's helping with, not something as simple as, but who knew I could make spilt milk? But I say, that'd be something interesting. It would have to be more than someone just crying over spilled milk for it to be, in my opinion, not gallery worthy, but gallery intriguing. Where I say, oh boy, I'll go check that out, or museum quality. But, not all my imaginations, most of my imaginations are not a museum quality. Maybe one of those many museums of curiosity you see somewhere out on the county routes, not the state route or the interstates. On county route, double aught, that's where Scoots' Museum of Curiosity would exist if it existed. Oh, but I'm trying to explain. So that's episodically modular. So Stan's trying to fix things and could use help from his sidekick Scooter. Scooter, though, is also caught in a loop, maybe the same loop. He's on a ship with the nuns in space, the nuns from his childhood. He's their only crew member. He's tasked with helping them with whatever their issue is. So he's trying to help the nuns from his childhood solve something on their ship, but he doesn't know that he has a mission to go help Stan. So he is retaining some awareness. What he knows is when he acts as a good crew member and solves the nun's problem, a portal opens, or he can discover a portal to get to Stan, to help Stan. And then it all begins again. And where it begins is with our Hollywood announcer, who's, I've been going through a season of gratitude, grateful for his generosity. He's he can be over generous with his bodily noises, not that kind of bodily noise you giggle about, but his bodily noises. They make you giggle in a way, not like an uncomfortable giggle. Like, did that person pass gas? Thanks goodness it's them and not me. More of like, like I said, his hair tingles when when he smiles. I don't think you can totally audibly hear it, but you can if you're on the mic and you're, using gain and all that stuff, where it makes a pinging type sound. And other stuff, even when he moves, he moves in ways that are mysteriously, normally quiet to the human ear, but not to the microphone. His ways are mysteriously noisy, though not on purpose. He just has maybe that's what, he has audible charisma. Has this come up before? Have we captured that? I mean, that's just a way to sum up Antonio Banderas. Charismatic, yes. Generous, yes. Audibly, I guess you're audibly generous. You say, oh, no problem. But your charisma has a sound to it. You're like the great podcast that just has finished up its season 2. It makes a sound. Your charisma, it makes a sound, Antonio. Also check out It Makes a Sound in your podcast app of choice. Mr. Antonio Banderas. This is a Friends Beyond the Binary. This is ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Wim and Cody and all, this is a great podcast. It makes a sound. Check it out. But for now, it's time for another episode of Nuns in Space. Yes. Thanks, Antonio. Thanks, Scooter. This is Nuns in Space. Hey, pen pal. Hey, pen pal. It's me, Stan. Holy cow, pen pal. Am I, pen pal, I'm afraid to say it out loud. But the only reason I'm saying it out loud is actually this is something I learned from my friend Scooter, who I miss. I don't know, Scooter, if you're listening. I miss you. Things are going really good, pen pal. Like, I think I'm actually feeling happiness that I've never felt before. And I don't have a crush on anybody, pen pal. It's not like that. I'm really feeling useful and wow, and challenged. And I do miss my friends. Again, Scooter, if you're listening, it'd be great to have you. But, well, I don't want to say no pressure. I would say, Scooter, this is a great opportunity for us as friends, for you to come when you get this message and hear it, to be here as soon as possible. And let me see if I can explain everything. Wow, pen pal. Now, we're in a part of the universe or the galaxy, in case Scooter's listening. I just got to, I'm going to use, Scooter, no offense, I'm just using relatable terms. So we're in a part of the universe where there's this great body of water. Now, not like the water you're picturing, Scooter. It's, let's see. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it. So there's a great like for this part of the universe, this is their main water source, and it's so massive, pen pal, that it would be hard to put into your mind. But it's also spread across space in different forms. And it is something that it's similar to a reservoir, but it's a natural reservoir. Or it's just a natural, okay, Scooter, I'm trying to explain it. So there's a quasar. I don't know how to make it. So there's water vapor, right? And then it also becomes ice. So imagine across like a long distance, Scooter, pen pal, I'm sorry. Pen pal, I know there'd be different levels of understanding. That's why I'm trying. So there's a place that we're going to say, Scooter, this is the hot place, the quasar. And water's being pulled in there from other parts of space, but it's also changing its forms, right? And then it's being pulled in and then ejected, I guess, in a form that I would say is, it's not mist, Scooter. Good question. Let's just say it's water vapor. And then drifting away from that quasar, but concentrated because of gravitational forces, but not all caught in the gravitational force, is water vapor and slowly changing to ice. We'll just say that's the easy way. Now, this is a long trailing thing, and it's the main water supply for kind of enough sentient beings that it would be hard to explain the number. But if you just shrink it down, you'd say just like one reservoir. See, the thing is, this is not it would be kind of like, I guess, so in California, they have the snow that goes on the mountains. And then the snow melts and goes down to the rivers and then goes, but it also goes to the sky and rains and snows. And that would be the equivalent of what I mean as a reservoir in this situation. Like that eventually makes its way to be of use to different beings all along that thing. Now, that's a natural process, but human beings have, Californians or whatever, they intervene on that process, obviously. And then in that case, people put stuff in a reservoir, but that's more of like a tucked away bank account or something. So that's a little bit confusing, though there are other reservoirs. So sorry, Scooter. Sorry, pen pal. I'm going on and on and on. Okay, but so this is also a long history, which is also kind of hard for even me to grasp. I'm not just saying you, pen pal. But so on this process, obviously, there's also been an intervention because sentient beings say, hey, we need that water. And there was a complicated history And eventually, and I can't even go, goes so far back that I just haven't been able to dedicate processing time to learn the whole history. But the history that's important, also trying to be efficient. I'm not being efficient in talking to you, pen pal, because Scooter, this is a non-professional, this is just a conversation. That's what's great about this, no pressure. But so, now, so there's the idea of a water bear, like Aquarius, right? So eventually this way of life came into being to be a water shepherd or a water bearer. But it was much more like a water shepherd where they would guide the water, mostly as it became its frozen form. But there are some places that said, hey, we need some of that, the vapor. And the water shepherds, now this was it wasn't a chosen profession. It was a chosen way of life because you kind of viewed it as, because water in this part of the universe is not bought or sold. And so it's provided by the water shepherds. And it's much more complicated than that. But that's the thing. And that's the way it has been for a long, 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 long time. Now, eventually, this region kept growing and growing and growing. More and more sentient beings, interstellar travel, all that stuff. And, this had happened before in history, but it kind of got accelerated where people would come and they'd see the water bearers or the water shepherds, and they would tell them how to do their job, or there would be some jealousy, or there'd be different viewpoints of managing water. And for the longest time, the water shepherds, well, they had they were just very respected and very on top of it. And they had some sort of power. But it was probably a positive power, like soft. I mean, it wasn't, I guess it was water soft, Scooter and pen pal. But so things got accelerated and more parts of this region of the universe started to take exception with the water bearers and the ideas behind water. And also, no offense to water bearers, but they had kind of, even, what is it, someone once said, on a comic that Scooter quoted that with, water-based power, comes, I don't know. They started to feel there was some sort of disengagement too, or at least that was the messaging going out. And it got to the point where there were so many disagreements that the water bearers said, you know what, if you think you can do it better, and you can arrive on some sort of consensus around the water within the ultimate water law, which is that the water can't be bought or sold or rented, they said, nice try. And there's all sorts of algorithms and stuff, but so they said good luck with that see and never kind of thing. And they left. And obviously that created a lot of a vacuum in the water power. And there was a lot of disagreements, some where people were raising their voices and steam was coming out their ears. And eventually, pen pal, I don't even remember how I got involved in this. But eventually I found myself working with the water regents who, holy cow, pen pal. Now this is where I really feel like, one, I have a name tag, and it says Stan on it, and then it doesn't have a title. It has a symbol, I'm like a trusted steward of the water. I work for the water region. I am the water regent's sidekick, and I wouldn't say sidekick in a professional sense, and not a sort of comic sense. And so the water region eventually said, hey, let's stop the arguing over the water, and let's stop the changing, or a lot of people said, well, if we could just change the laws, because the water region saw two things that they explained to me, which were, one, a bit of a loophole in the water law, but and a huge opportunity but also a deep-held belief that water is, and I don't think the water bears had the same thing, but the water region always goes back to the idea of water and gold. And that, water, and that was the thing that the water region used to kind of say, maybe we should be trusted with this, because the water bears, there was a lot of waste of water. And water was wasted because it was spilled, or there were just some inefficiencies with the water bears. And what the water region realized is that waste falls outside of the buying and selling of water. That was wasted water. It was part of the algorithms. It's like water that doesn't even exist. And that we're able, because again, you say, well, why, if water's gold, you can't, that's the kind of arguments the region would make. You're going to give it gold away. You just spill gold and then leave it there. And that could be a way to keep this thing efficiently moving if we had access to some of the waste, the water waste, to be able to sell that waste, I guess, and deliver at a higher speed. And again, this is all stuff that would fall into, Scooter would say, just spreadsheet numbers, which just happens to be many things I'm good at, pen pal. So not only do I have a name tag, I've earned my name tag. So water is not being wasted. The water waste has been reduced, and what is wasted is used to facilitate our whole enterprise. And we also, now this is another place where the water region said, and if we increase the volume of water we're shepherding, the waste would therefore increase at the same rate. And so we're kind of looking at it like water's a volume business. I laugh when I say that. And I just really hope, Scooter, you hear this, because I'm being fully utilized in a role. Scooter, like a lot of times, I guess I never told you this, but I wasn't feeling great about, I don't know, we fell into something, and now I feel really comfortable. I have a mission. It uses a lot of the things, solid state and vacuum tube technologies. And I have this name tag, and I just want to give you because this is the thing, Scooter. This is what I've been building, pen pal. We don't need a professional relationship anymore. We're free. We're now going to be free of that, and we can just be friends. And I know a lot of times people say that in another way to you, especially, Scooter. They don't mean, and you say, well, do they really mean we're going to be friends? But we're already friends. But now we don't have the extra distract. So it's just great news, Scooter. So now we could be friends. I'm dreaming about, professional friends. Sorry, Stan. Well, yes, sister. Sorry, I was sleeping, sister. Okay, there's a drip on the ship. Is it a drip on the ship that'll cause a water? Sorry, sister. I was thinking of Susie. It sounded very Susian. So there's a drip on the ship. Okay, so I have to find the drip. Okay, sister. You got it. It's a drip of a dripping sound, or a drip of okay, it's just a dripping sound. Okay. So I'm going to have to listen, but the good thing is, because I have would I record the message to my pen pal? So I'm watching the bars, because if there's a drip, okay, I'm seeing it, then I can move the mics around and point it to it, and it doesn't even show up. I'm able to still record for you, pen pal. Okay, so I'm walking around the ship here, and I can see it. It's almost like using like a finding your find thing, where you're tracking a beacon or something. And okay, I'm following these pipes. It'd be great, and not seeing any drips. So I'm wondering, because I'm really covering a lot of the ship, pen pal, but I'm just wondering if there's a more efficient way to do this. Though I'm not, like, okay, let's check. Okay, let me go to this terminal. I wish Stan was here. But I think if I just type historical level, yeah, okay, thank God. So glad they installed this common sense computer language or whatever it is. Or Stan did it, common sense. Okay, so historical levels of liquids, okay, and it looks like, okay, so we are losing some water. And yeah, this seems probably is a leak. Okay, so the computer figured that out. And any idea where the leak is? Oh, in the water system. Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to see. I wonder if it's like it could be condensation. But okay, any abnormal? No abnormal condensation. All right, let's see what I can do here is, I guess I could walk around the ship and that could take forever because it could be anywhere. Okay, let's do this. Let's shut off the water. Oh yeah. Hi sisters, just calling in. I'm working on that dripping sound. A lot of strange, you sisters, you notice those sounds. Oh, because you're on a mission, you can't be distracted. I realize that, let's see, oh boy, I'm going to have to shut off the water I shut off the water already, sisters, to complete. Okay, thank you, sisters. Okay, there's still a dripping sound going on. Still showing up at the same levels. Oh, you know what? If I follow this thing, there's stairways to an attic? I didn't even know the ship had an attic. The ship keeps altering itself. But that's a good sign when it does. Okay, I'm in the attic here. Okay, I can definitely hear. Whoa, boy. I can hear the dripping because you seem to be wearing bedding. Hello, I'm Scooter. I'm the only crew member on the ship. I didn't know anybody else was on the ship other than the sisters and I. And you seem to be similar to my imaginary friend Casper, but you have a soaking wet, dripping sheet. Oh, okay. Well, nice. So you are like Casper. Like, so you've been to the big farm in the sky? Oh, and you've come to the ship. Welcome to the ship. It looks like you got your bedding wet that you're using to cover your nudity. I never understood, like, somebody might say, have you ever seen a naked Casper before? Oh boy, that's why they wear bedding. Is that the case? Oh, it's twofold. Oh, okay. Am I supposed to, so I can see you? That's one. And two would be, so you can, you're going to run out of water there though. Okay. Well, so you're able to perpetuate it a little bit better than a normal person with normal bedding would. Oh, so that's not ship bedding. That bedding's from the big farm? That's what gives it that ethereal. Is that an ethereal glow? Yeah. So, okay. So you're also dripping water. Yeah, so what's the purpose of the dripping of the water? Because here's the thing, I'm the only crew member on the ship, and I'm supposed to kind of like help the nuns solve the problems. Oh, how do I know the nuns? Oh boy, I don't know if I have time. Like, I mean, sounds like you have plenty of time, but for me, I'm still pre-farm, so I'm kind of. Even though the majority of the time I don't make the most of my time, I am trying to be more cognizant of, that's like the vocabulary word of the day, cognizant of how I use my time. Oh, sorry, to answer your question, So even though this might not make any sense to you, but maybe it does because you've seen it, you've seen a lot more than me. When I was just a child, those nuns were my teachers, or one was principal technically, and she was a fill-in teacher from time to time. Though most of those memories I put them away in my own attic. Okay, well, interesting. So they were your teachers too. Okay, well, that's good. We weren't in the same, not the same, close, similar, not the same age by a little bit. Okay. Wow, so they were more youthful when they were, but I can't explain to you how it's possible. It's, I would say a miracle of Mother Nature, but I mean, who are we kidding? Am I right? But that's the way to look at it. And why I'm not, technically I'm loyal to them. No, I did not volunteer. Somehow I found myself on this job. Maybe you could fill me in. Just let me know if me and the sisters are already farmed. But I don't seem to have an ethereal glow. The situation is I am stuck in some sort of a loop, with the sisters, that and I know. And I am their only crew member. They're on some sort of mission, though they do not seem to be going anywhere. They just keep flying in a very intent way, nonstop. But I honestly don't think they're going anywhere. Maybe they are, and they're just not telling me, but they don't tell me anything except there's a drip on earlier there was like a sucking sound, or we're caught at a red light that won't change, and I need to fix those things. Now, part of me, if that was the only part of the situation, I mean, right? You know what I'm saying is like, it wouldn't be great. I would have said, well, I got big farmed, and they were aware of my behavior on Earth. But the real thing is, if I help the sisters with whatever issue they're facing, then I could go through another a portal, we'll say, a ripple and, a wrinkle in time. Okay. I don't know, but yeah, sure. A wrinkle in time. And then I go to my best friend, who's a freestyle soda machine and a genius and a hero, Stan. And Stan is also in a situation where Stan could use some help. Then I can help Stan. And Stan can resolve whatever issue Stan's facing. And then then the loop repeats itself. But I'm remembering things. And I'm hoping eventually Stan remembers things. And, at some point, we're going to I have hope. Oh, boy, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, that Stan and I will get out of this loop with the sisters. Why are you here, is my question. And when I know how you know the sisters now. Oh, you thought the drip would get on their nerves. Oh. Okay, that makes, it did. Mission accomplished. You were going to do it forever. Okay, that makes, I get what you're saying, but then you'd have to drip. I shut the water off. I could turn it back on because you're interesting. You can't, I guess you couldn't bring an unlimited supply of water. That makes sense. So you just have to go and the ship recycles its own water. But you'd have to, so you have to keep dipping your blankets in water. So you'd have to be here the whole time. I'll tell you what, they don't like it. I don't know if as far as I know, it's just slightly bothering them. Oh wait, you have another question? So I'm in a perpetual loop and I'm their only crew member. So, they are, I guess, to use your terminology, they are stuck with me as their only crew member as the situation looks perpetually, yes, and they're perpetually going nowhere. So, I guess you don't, I guess you don't need to wait a second, I'm sorry, what did you say? Oh, so having me as a crew member is probably punishment enough. Yeah. I guess like I'm a lot like one big drip. You're hilarious. You're surprised that. But anyway, I get it. So you're relieved of duty, I guess. That's always funny to say. Have you ever said? Do you need to do that when you're a Casper? Be relieved of duty in the giggly way. See, I made you laugh. So I have some positive qualities, just so you know. Don't worry, I won't use them on sisters. They don't laugh at my jokes. So, yeah, great to meet you. Here's the thing. I'm going to close my eyes because I have a feeling this is what will help me to portal back to Stan. Let me send the computer a message to turn the water back on. I'm going to close my eyes. Can you leave me with your blankets? And just put them over I'll go under while you go out the other way. That way I won't see you that's a funny thing to say, that a Casper en natural. Casper in a Casper's birthday suit. These are things I would never I would have thought of, especially because Casper. Anyway, just put the blankets over my head and that I'm sure. Thank you. Scooter, why do you have blankets over? Stan, so glad to be here. Scooter, did you get my messages? Stan, I did get your messages. They kind of downloaded. Yeah, I guess I was under that blanket listening to them. And so I'm so happy for you. Scooter, are you happy that we don't have to have a professional relationship? I mean, I guess so. I mean, if you're happy, Stan... I mean, I guess that means we get to play and do stuff and have fun. So, yeah, I see why you're enthusiastic about it. Yeah, Scooter, we could probably plan out some fun because I still have a lot of big jobs to do with this water situation. Yes, Stan, as your friend, though, this is like friendly convo. Then what's your next job coming up that not professionally, just friends talking? Well, Scooter, this is my idea, so I don't know if you could give me some friendly encouragement. But I came up with the idea of a water draft because we were finding. So if you understood the stuff with the water, that we're collecting, and we are able to monetize a percentage of the water waste. We also decided, well, if there was a way of life for the water bearers, why shouldn't it be a way of life for everybody? And so we had a water draft, and because if water's free and it can't be sold, except for the water waste that was already part of all the laws, then everyone should work together. Basically, Scooter, every year you would be responsible for moving the amount of water you consume every year. And you could do that every year, or you could do it, it doesn't take that long, actually, Scooter. But, people don't like the idea, but then they say, well, okay, it's not, it's a requirement for getting your water. And so everybody helps shepherd the water. And obviously the only people that wouldn't benefit from that would be people that buy water waste. So you kind of helped create a water waste the water waste market, which is not water waste. Might be, here's a free idea, Stan. Even though it's excess unaccounted for water, EAW, because water waste just sounds not great. Scooter, you're right. I'm putting it through the regent, and it looks like this idea is increasing the value of the excess water. Okay, so you're making the system more efficient. You're speeding up the process. And most people will have to work at helping shepherd water. So you have now a workforce. Seems like you really put some efficiency into this, Stan. You really get... Scooter, did you notice my name tag? I did notice it, Stan. I was just hoping to compliment you on it later. because it's very impressive. A scooter, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know what it's made of, Scooter, but it sticks right to me. I think it's magnetic or something. Well, geez, Stan, I mean, you're really getting used to maximum. I mean, I guess it's cool. I'm happy for you as your friend. But, Scooter, what is it? Well, as your friend, not as a professional, I'm just confused about a couple things, because I know you so well as friends. Uh-oh, Scooter, it seems like you're going to rain on my parade. Well, that's the water, that's funny, Stan, but, no, I was just confused. So, any idea where the water bears went? Scooter, we don't have that information because they were kind of like a society almost. It was a way of life. So no, we don't have that information. They said see you never, like TJ does. Okay, well, that's cool. That's cool reference. I get it. Any idea what, other than it being a way of life, why they did the job or whatever, or why they did it? Scooter, I think it brought its own meaning. That's what I heard, is that it was a way of life, meaning it gave their life meaning, which I guess I can really, well, I'm having trouble with that a little bit, Scooter. Huh, interesting. You're having, like, are all your vacuum tubes functioning? Scooter, what are you saying? No, I was just wondering. Scooter, everything's functioning. I'm functioning at maximum capacity, Scooter. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Just as a friend, I was just wondering, when you say, hey, are you feeling all right? And you're feeling all right, but someone asks you that. Scooter, in your case, isn't it, are you upset about something? And you say, no, I feel great. Yes, and I guess that would be the better example. So here's one last question, Stan, that I'm wondering about. So the regent that you're working with, right? They were calling it water waste, huh, Stan? Scooter, they were. And I was just wondering, though, was it really water? Like, so if I'm imagining this right, so there's water bears in my mind. Now, I know this might not be accurate, Stan. And they have like big clay pots. Maybe they're goddesses or gods, but they still have pots and the water's splashing and flowing and they're carrying it through space. I know that's not exactly what happened. And you're saying, okay, that water spilled and you found a way, I guess because it's in the vacuum of space, that you could collect that, or you're just using the spreadsheet, which is fair enough. The water's somewhere. So that's what I mean. If the water's somewhere, where did the waste go? Well, Scooter, I'm not sure what I understand exactly what you mean. It's now accounted for. Right, but if we were in a movie called The Christmas Carol, right, and close your eyes, Stan. Maybe I'm Barnaby or whoever. Scooter, there's no Barnaby in that. Are you sure about that? Okay, maybe I'm Mr. Pickwick. Okay, Scooter, I understand you're my friend and you're coming to tell me something. So imagine the water. Scooter, you're really, you got water. I mean, I guess you are into water. Yeah, Stan, I'm into water, man. So I'm just wondering, if there's I don't know which those order that, Scrooge went on that visit. I know there was a Scrooge in that, though. And who is his name? Jim Dandy, his son? Scooter, it's not Jim Dandy. You're being silly. Scooter, also, Stan, I know you could communicate with me while you're working. So, Scooter, you're right. But I could, maximize my... Well, yeah, but this is, we're maximizing our friendship. Okay, Scooter, you're making me feel torn. Yeah, that's what friends do sometimes with work. Okay, so what if one of the worlds we went to with one of those three, the the guy with the hairy chest and the torch, and said, "Hey, look over here. If I shine my torch on this water, and you could see inside it because my torch is actually an electron microscope or something, there's a whole world in this drop of water." And then, he explains stuff much better than me in the in the movie. And then we go with Carol Kane, and she takes us on a zip line. And, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of water world we dive into, or there's some sort of water show. I don't know. That one I don't have. I only have 2 out of the 3, I guess, Stan. But, using water and it covering our skins and jumping in and out and splashing. And I guess we're made up of water. I don't know. And then we meet up with the other person. I don't know who that is. But whatever. They, how come I can only remember there's there's a third present, past, and present, future. But I don't know. There's a third one. Maybe it's in the one from Star Kid, the workout video one. That would be the past, because I remember the hook of that song. But here's the thing, Stan. What if there? I don't know if. I mean, I know the answer is probably. Well, it could be unknown. Could there be microplanets? And like a micro universes, would they that are much smaller than micro machines? So we're talking way smaller than. I mean, this is just something I just thought of. But do we know if there's microplanets? Because then a drop of water waste to them would be like this whole nebula thing. Scooter, it's quasar. Stan, looks like we need sorry, I just had those questions. I just wanted to get them off my chest. We're friends, but we're not, you're the one working for the water region. I'm just your friend. Scooter, are you feeling like you need a job? I don't, right now, I'm your friend without a job, Stan. Maybe we could play around. Because maybe I just asked too many questions and I dropped the ball as your friend. Scooter, you're right. But I do need to. Well, Stan, have you heard the idea of micro breaks and like Tabata Pomodoros? Scooter, yes, I know what you're referring to. Well, what if we take a micro joy break? Because you seem so happy. Let's get back to doing something fun and happy. Not as a distraction, but as a break from all that talk. Well, that'd be nice, you Scooter. This is why I miss you. Like hide and seek? No, I was thinking of this game because your name tag is so impressive, but it looks like heavy. I really just want to feel how heavy it is, I mean, I don't think, I don't need a name tag or anything. Obviously, my behavior speaks for itself. Scooter, yeah, you don't need a name. Your body language is name tag enough. But like, here's the idea. Like we play name tag toss. And when the name tag's in the air, the person that threw it has to say a name and a job. And we just toss it back and forth. Okay, Scooter. Okay, I'm taking it off. And Tila, leader of the rebellion. Oh, Stan, that was a good one. I caught it too. Yeah, Scooter, please don't drop my name tag. It looks like the floor's soft, just in case it gets dropped. But I will try not to drop your name tag. Okay. I guess I'm going to throw it back to you. Mount of leader of the rebellion. Oh, Scooter, so is that, do I need to? No, you can do whatever you want, Stan. Okay, Scooter, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready, Stan. Okay, there it is. Luigi, plumber. Oh, Stan, I got it. I caught it. That's a good one, Stan. I mean, I'm going to keep playing this way then. I guess you're the leader. Mario Plumber. Oh, Stan, you didn't catch the name tag. It just bounced off you and hit the floor. Yeah, Scooter, don't. Yeah, Scooter. Don't pick it up, though. I was just thinking, did you say you were calling them water bears, not water bearers? I'm going to take a step away from the name tag over to Bayou Scooter. Did you say, well, I said, I guess I dropped the R, Stan, but I was referring to water bearers, but water bears sounds very cute and very drippy. Yes, Scooter, kind of like sponges, like, if you dip a water bear in the water, there would be a lot of technical waste like we were talking about. And that made me think of the way you described the water bears as being, but Scooter, here's the thing. I'm thinking, here's the thing with being a friend with you, Scooter, and being a worker, friends and coworkers, I guess. You were kind of showing me that friendship's kind of inefficient. Well, your friend is inefficient, but I don't know what you're getting at, Stan. Well, Scooter, that's where that's where you get to things by your inefficiency has shown me. Friendship's not supposed to be efficient all the time. There's no way to maximize. I thought us not working together would maximize our friendship, but I realized our friendship didn't change at all. And that's it's not fixed either, though, which is even more confusing. So you're saying our friendship's not a fixed thing, but our friendship can't be changed. No, not that simple, Scooter, but for the time being, that makes sense. But that our friendship is definitely not, or friendship in general in your experience, and I guess mine is not always the most efficient thing. Right, Scooter, friendship efficiency, everybody would just laugh. Even me, I'm laughing. Yes, Dan, I can sense you laughing. But that made me think of, like, if friendship's not supposed to be efficient, like, what if efficiency can't be applied to water either? Not even efficient or inefficient. Efficiency doesn't apply to friendship or water. Like water is as water does. Scooter, is that from a movie? It sounds like something. Yeah, no, I don't know, but like, just popped in my head when you said that, Stan. Scooter, I think I've been delusional about this. I was so excited to have a name tag and to be of maximum use. Like, so you're saying the clay pots, right? They soak up water. The water also evaporates. The soaked up water eventually evaporates. Water spilled. And like you said, the water goes where it needs to be, or the need, as we know from history, that the water needs to be for the need to be there. Okay, Stan, but except for like at a desert, Scooter, come on, that's not true. Like, but even a desert, it'd be hard to say. I guess you could say they're making the most of the water, but I don't know if you'd use efficient either. I guess so, Stan, because you'd say, why don't you just move, right? You're right, Scooter. But so I'm in a pickle now. Scooter, I don't know. There's something about that name tag that I don't like. Okay, Stan, well, I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to remember it. We're caught in a loop and we're dealing with concentrated delusion. And I think that your name tag is made of a concentrated delusion. Okay, Scooter, that seems interesting. So, Scooter, I'm not sure what we should do about this water regent situation. Well, here's what I think, Stan. First, I think we should launch your name tag into the quasar, because won't it then be ejected as its base elements? Okay, Scooter, I can do that. I can use my nanos to build a rocket on my name tag. Oh, here's the thing. You're going to build. So if it's going through space, could we do some skywriting in space? Well, Scooter, Scooter, we could do that. Okay. I think, Stan, you had some of the basics here in that maybe we got to trust that the water I think this situation will resolve with, we get rid of the delusion, but we send a message to the water bearers. Maybe you do also a bear and a water bearer drawing, but say, water bearers, please return. We need you. Water bearers, we need you. Maybe even do a misspelling so that it makes them laugh. But I think there's opportunity here, Stan, that you created an opportunity that we just got to put the waste back into it. That's where my expertise came in handy. Scooter, we were working in a professional relationship the whole time and a friendship. Again, I think those maybe don't apply to our relationship, those words, just like efficiency might not apply to water. And so by getting the delusion out of here and the water bears will come back maybe, but pretty quickly without your help, I don't think the water regent's going to be able to manage. And I think the water draft itself is a pretty good idea. Like the water bearers might like that. Maybe that's where they could be, like their way of life, they could share it with, like if I was a water bearer, that's what I'd want. Hey, yeah, you do the work and I'll explain to you how grateful I am to be here doing the work with you. And that it'll work out. Like, it's like almost like we got to leave this situation. Scooter, just look at the skywriting. It's good, Stan. That's beautiful. I love how you made my misspellings and those drawings. And Scooter, it'll stay up for a while the way I did it. And now the name tag is launching into the heart of the quasar where it'll be. And I'm feeling great now, Scooter. So you're saying we could just trust in the efficiency and inefficiency of water here. Of course the water bearer is going to come back, but even if they don't, Scooter, people are going to realize that everybody, that it'll all work out just fine. Yeah, I think this was one of these situations that's going to resolve itself without us being in the way of it. So we're going to rest now, Stan. Imagine me and you side by side in a pool on a couple of floats, best friends, chilling out, floating, rocking in the water gently, rocking and rocking off to dreamland. Good night, Stan. Good night, pen pal. Good night, everybody. All right, I want to thank everybody who became a patron recently. Squash, Lisa and Kelly, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Andrea, Emily, and Jillian, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Matt, Regina, and EJ, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Nick, Lisa, and Andres, thanks, and good night. Tony, Aubrey, and Gertrude, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Heather, Andrew, and Kristen, thanks, and good night. Strellen, Lewis, and Kirsty, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Lauren, April, and Jack, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Maddie, First, and Myrna, thanks, and good night. Cara, Jamie, and Mitchell, thank you. Thanks, and good night. And Sarah and Lauren, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks so much for supporting the show directly on Patreon. The show is free and exists because of people who support the show directly or support our sponsors. We grow as a podcast and flourish as a podcast by spreading the word about the show or being a part of the community and reaching out and connecting, or just letting people know about podcasts in general. You don't even have to help with sleep with me. Show people that haven't, just show them in a low pressure way how you use a podcast app and what stuff you listen to. And then maybe you say, hey, well, what are you into? Let me search model trains or model planes or model weather. Model trains probably have model weather vanes. So whatever it is, it could be whatever, so yeah, that's it. And we got some Tuck You In sponsors that have enabled us to grow the show, or grow the archives we have for free. So thanks so much. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp. You know, I don't know about you, but I always wished life it came with a user manual, whether it's dealing with my thoughts or my feelings or, you know, what's getting in the way of me falling asleep or my relationships with other people. I don't have a user manual, but what I do have is a work I do with my therapist. And yeah, unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. So when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. And I know from my work I do in therapy every single week that BetterHelp is a great option. It's an option I recommend to people in my personal life because I get so much out of therapy. I get coping skills. It helps me be my best self and be my best self with other people in my life and also deal with other people when they're not at their best. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists. Therapists available 100% online, plus it's affordable. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. There's no waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody.